hoping to continue his dominance. What about Manfio? He's a lifetime underdog in the PFL. And guess what? Just the way he likes it. Then in our main event, Clay Collard. He loves to stand and bang. A win, finish, he will move on, but so will his opponent. Who's getting ready backstage? Oh, look at a new face. Australia's Razor, Rob Wilkinson. Keep your eye on him tonight. Then our 2019 champ, Emiliano Sordi. You will see him on ESPN+. And check this dude out. Undefeated Josh Silveira getting ready for his season debut tonight. A full night of fights. So welcome to the Overtime Elite Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the DraftKings pre-fight show. And tonight, boy, where else do you want to be on a Friday in June? This is our and main event of the evening. Shoeface taking on Soto, and Collard taking on Martinez, in so many different ways. To play it, to watch it, bet on it. Here is the ESPN Plus fight card first. We got 6 different fights. 5 of those are part of our regular season. One of those is a showcase fight, but you don't want to sleep on those either. That's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. There you see the odds. Then the ESPN fight card. We switch over there at 10 o'clock. Very excited about that. 4 big fights. 3 of them are lightweights. One of them is light heavyweights. By the way, if you're wondering, Anthony Pettis, he will be in action in a couple of weeks. So he's the only lightweight fight that won't be in action here tonight. Boy, I tell you what, I am ready to have a good time tonight. I am the coach. That is my partner, Ian Parker. We are your betting experts for the PFL. And Ian, tonight, boy, this is what I love the most about the PFL. It's fight number 2. There's a whole lot of pressure. There's a whole lot of things that can go right, but also can go wrong.
It's a real exciting time to be in the PFL, fighting for the PFL, working for the PFL. It's go big or go home tonight. There are fighters who have 3 points, but they're not secure with just a decision win. You got to finish quick. It's all about the points if you want to secure your spot in this season's playoffs.
And for those people who are wondering why the PFL is so special, why is it so different, we're going to tell you, and we're going to show you right now. We have a season. It's about the regular season. It's about the playoffs. 10 fighters in each division, 6 different weight classes, 2 regular season fights. After those, top 4 make it to the playoffs. You get 3 points for a win. Bonus points are everything. A first-round finish is the max 6 points. In November, we will be there live, $1 million to 6 different fighters who will have earned it. But how do we bet this format? Because the playoff scenarios, there's so many different things to look at. What do you look at, Ian Parker?
I'm looking at fighters that desperately need the win, need that round 1 win, because that's going to impact our over and unders. That's going to impact our props. That's going to pretty much impact everything we do tonight, Coach. And I'm really excited for it. I got a few tricks up my sleeve, a few plays in mind, and we're going to get it tonight.
Wait a second, Ian Parker, tricks up his sleeve? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's take a look at the lightweight standings, because tonight is the lightweights and the light heavyweights. And I mentioned Anthony Pettis. He had a spectacular first-round win in his first fight a little over a month ago. So he'll be waiting a couple of weeks, but there you see Manfio. He had a third-round finish, so that's good for 1 bonus point. And then Clay Collard and Alexander Martinez simply won their fights to get 3 points for the win. So we're going to start with our main event. Clay Collard taking on Alexander Martinez. Now, both the 3 points means everything is on the line tonight. Collard feels like last year didn't go his way, but he needs to win tonight in order to make up for that. Ian Parker, how do you break down this fight, sir?
Well, Clay Collard, look, we all know he's ready to bang. It's the striking, get inside, throw those combinations, along with the kicks and a flying knee just to boot. He is someone who will bring the fight to anyone and everyone. Alex Martinez, his game, also a stand-up fighter, gets in very interesting scrambles on the ground where he ends up on top often. For Clay Collard, he's got to stay off his back, and this is going to be a very interesting fight. Distance versus inside striking, I'm excited.
I know you're excited, but are you picking Collard? Because for those of you who are not familiar with MMA, kind of minus 200 is our benchmark, so Collard is below that currently, so we can pick him straight. Correct, Ian? Picking Collard straight, right?
Oh, you are absolutely correct, Coach. According to the betting big board with the PFL, he's only minus 155, so that is way below our threshold, right in our comfort zone. And for someone of Clay Collard's caliber at that number, all day, every day, I'm taking it straight at minus 155.
I love the big board. I apologize. I just like to see it sometimes. All right, let's move on. Now, we mentioned how Manfio that has come into every single fight in the PFL as an underdog. And Ian Parker tonight, more of the same. Now, he's got a really tough opponent in OAM. Break this one down for me, please.
For the king of underdogs, Manfio, the champ, he's got to come out here. He's got to keep his striking going. He's got to get started early. He cannot rely on that power to get him through over another third round, come from behind victory, because that man, OAM, he uses his size. He is a bully in the cage. He's got good striking, good lateral movement, but can he stay away from the power of Manfio?
Well, we have seen certainly that Manfio can wait till late in fights to win. He can do it in any different direction. Now, here is what we're talking about. Manfio, 5 times he has been the underdog in the PFL. 5 times he has cashed that ticket. And there is nothing a better likes more than a plus money cash at the pay window. So, Ian Parker, that begs the question, which way are you going to go?
I'm going underdog, coach. I am going with the champ, Manfio. I think in this fight, his cardio, as long as he gets started a little bit earlier than last time, I think the counter strike, I think that power is going to pay dividends as OAM tends to fade towards the second half. So at plus 135, let's see if he can do it a 6th time as a dog and cash that ticket for us.
Sometimes they say you can't go back to the well. Guess what? We're just going to keep on drinking. We're just going to keep on drinking. All right, one more fight on the main card that I want to get into, and this is a former UFC absolute banger. He stood there with Clay Collard a month ago and really showed out well, but Jeremy Stephens did not get the victory. So tonight, it's a must-win against Miles Price in the lightweight division. Take me through it, Ian.
Little Heath and Jeremy Stephens. He is the definition of I come to bang and I come to bring the violence. An exciting fighter, striker. He brought it to Clay Collard. He landed a ton of punches that normally a regular human being, not Clay Collard, would have been knocked out. So I expect the same tonight. He is who he is. He comes forward. He'll take 1. He'll take 10 to give that one power punch. And I'm excited to see if he can do it and land that first round and possibly punch his ticket into the playoffs.
But Ian, I got to thinking sometimes the obvious play isn't obvious, and maybe you don't know which fighter that you like, but there are other ways to bet this fight. Talk to me.
Coach, you said it best. Look, he's already at minus 750, so that's a tough play, even for a parlay. Now, if we dive into our fight props, you can see by KO or TKO, minus 120. I don't mind that either, but we're in a very special situation here. We got 2 guys who have 0 points, who need that first round finish. So, someone's going to sleep one way or the other. We are not getting that 3rd round. Let's go under 2.5. I'm pretty confident here. Now, I know that 200 number is where we usually live. It was that a few minutes ago. Someone obviously stuck in a late bet. I like under 2.5. This fight's not going to be very long.
Yeah, you mentioned the word sleep. I know this fight is at 10 p.m. Eastern time. This might be past your bedtime, to be honest with you, so we'll just have to take that as it comes. Now, let's transition to the light heavyweights tonight, because we love when those 205ers step in with all the power in the world. Antonio Carlos Jr., Shoeface. Well, he worked all of 29 seconds in his first fight this season. And Madaf, depending on where you're from, he also had a first round finish. So there you see, there were more finishes in the light heavyweight division, which means other fighters have to step up tonight. These fights are going to be absolute bangers in the light heavyweight division. So Ian, let's go right into it. Let's go into our co-main event. Shoeface taking on Brucey Soto. How are you breaking down this fight for a guy who's been absolutely dominant in this division? He's our defending champion, and so far has not even spent a minute in the smart cage in 2022.
Well, that's the best way to do it, avoid damage. From last season, he has just taken his game to another level. I think not having to cut the weight down to middleweight has really paid dividends for him. He's an exciting fighter. His striking keeps getting better and better. And as one of the best grapplers and jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world, that is a scary situation. Landing that choke that early and that hard is a scary thought. This man is the favorite to win the whole thing for a reason, and I believe it.
Now, Ian, I've always known, even from a small kid, you love to play with toys. You've always loved toys. Now, DraftKings, they have supplied you with a lot of toys here tonight, including the prop machine. So, How are you going to bet this particular fight, and how excited are you for all of these new props courtesy of DraftKings?
Well, Coach, this shiny new toy you speak of is the PFL betting big board, but we've taken it to another level. We now not only minus 1250, I just want to address, is an insane number. I think it's going to win, but we can't do that. I mean, we're really getting up there again in this fight. Let's go to our fight props now. We have winning method, and it's crazy because even by submission is minus 250, and I do think that's how it's going to play out. But we're going to get a little fancier here, a little greedier here. Round props. I'm going to go under 1.5. because that's really the best odds I can get on someone like Shoeface at minus 215. I think he takes Soto to the ground. I think he ground and pounds, gets a sub, and we're going to go there. So under 2.5 with our shiny new toy, the prop machine as you call it, at minus 215.
Here's a little unsolicited advice for you bettors at home. Do not bet a prop that is north of minus 300. Okay, just a little tip for you there. It is now time to send it to the arena. And the best play-by-play man in the business, period, Sean O'Connell and his crew. Sean, good evening, sir.
Thank you, Coach. Flattery will get you everywhere with me. As you're well aware, Sean O'Connell and Randy Couture and Kenny Florian right here beside the PFL Smart Cage. Very excited about PFL for lightweights and light heavyweights vying for those playoff spots. And let's talk about that main event. Ian Parker is picking the favorite, Clay Collard. Pretty close odds, and I think understandably, because if you've actually paid attention to what Alexander Martinez is capable of, you know that he's a real threat. But he is the underdog, Randy. So how does he pull off an upset? What can he do to get a win over Clay Collard?
In this fight, I think it's all about distance, and both these guys know from their interviews, they both broke it down perfectly for us. It's about who stays at the proper range. Here's a guy that's got dynamic kicking and long-rangey punches. He needs to stay out of that wheelhouse of Collards, who wants to come in and get right in his face and land that precision footwork and boxing skills. So I think it boils down to who has their way, who has that range and controls it.
Alexander Martinez, formidable. Again, this guy less than a dozen pro fights, and already he's here in a main event spot in the Professional Fighters League. Let's talk about a former champion in this lightweight division, Manfio. As Ian said, this is the 6th fight in a row that he's come in as an underdog. He's cashed on the first 5 of those 6 fights, but he is a slow starter. Can he survive a slow start against OAM?
I don't think he can. You can get away with it against some guys maybe who are slow starters themselves or maybe don't have much experience. You know, you look at Don Madge here, didn't have a whole lot of experience, was doing really well, lost his focus, started getting backed up against the cage, and Manfio did that, and that's what he does best. Against someone like OAM, he's very experienced, he has excellent footwork, he moves laterally, he knows how to avoid that forward pressure. So, no, I don't think he can afford to get off to a slow start here.
Those are just 2 of the incredible bouts, of course, both taking place in the lightweight division. Clay Collard, Alexander Martinez, Manfio versus OAM. For more bets and how you should be playing this one, we go back to our experts, Jonathan Coachman and Ian Parker.
Sean, thank you very much. Now, the one thing that we always talk about before we start these shows, it's about having fun. It's about cashing tickets. It's about having a pick on every single fight. And tonight, we do. We've got a new little thing called Quick Hits. So let's take a look at the ESPN Plus fight card for tonight and what those numbers look like. And there you see some names that you are familiar with if you're a PFL fan, some that you may not be familiar with. So there are the odds for the fights tonight, courtesy of DraftKings. So, Ian, very quickly, we're going to go through that card. I know we have 2 straight fights, and we have a little parlay. So the first one, how are you betting the Martin Hamlet fight? Go.
Coach, we're going underdog on the first fight. I'm taking Martin Hamlet. This is Silvera's debut in the PFL. I think he's a little undersized. I think Martin Hamlet is a big guy for the division, his wrestling, and the experience in the PFL. Plus 145, we are going to go there for that one.
Oh, I like that a lot. We're going to hold on to the Natan Schultz fight until the end, but I know there's 3 more fights on this ESPN Plus card that the numbers are way too big. So bring them down. Give me a 3-way parlay.
We're going to start with Razor Rob Wilkinson. He looked fantastic in his last fight. Massive for the weight class. Striking was there. Ground game was there. And for Victor Pesta, I don't like that he just got knocked out into the shadow realm not too long ago. Not a lot of recovery time. So he's going to be the first one in our parlay. The next fight, Emiliano Sordi, against... Look, for me, Sordi has to win this fight. This is someone who is a flawless champion 2019. It is go big or go home here. I'm going to invest in him in the parlay. It's a big number, but I trust his striking, and I think as long as he doesn't have that injury, he gets it done. And last but not least, Amari Akhmedov. Listen, he looked unbelievable in his last fight. This is the version of him we've been waiting for. So he's going to be the third leg of our parlay. Now, Coach, if you look, we went from heavy-duty favorites, risking a lot to make a little. Now we are almost at even money, and that's how we're going to play the parlay.
Oh, I love that. I love the even money number. Just put those three together, and it's very, very nice. Now, there's one more fight that we need to talk about. Two guys that, when I look at it, Hakan Shoto, Martinez. Yes, their names are still the same on my sheet. These are two names of guys that have high hopes this year. Talk to me.
A rematch from last year. That was a very close fight. Now, Martinez did not fight in the first part of the PFL season, so he really needs to go for the knockout. Not something he's known for, and Hakan Shoto just doesn't get finished. For Hakan Shoto, he has to win this fight no matter what, and he also has to go for the knockout. The way he fought OAM, he kept coming forward. The opportunities were there. He just couldn't get it done. Now, the number was a lot lower when we first took this pick earlier in the week, but I'm still confident in Hakan Shoto. This is his home. He's been here for a while, two-time champ. We're going to Hakan Shoto at -190 straight, Coach.
And if people at home think that a fighter who did not have a first fight can't still make it to the playoffs, oh, we have seen it before. A first-round finish, 6 points, they can certainly do it with just one fight. Let's recap the night that we have in store for us. We're going to cash a bunch of tickets from the Duck. This is our ESPN Plus fight card starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, top of the hour. The first fight is a showcase fight, then 5 other fights that have direct effect on the regular season, and there are the odds tonight. As always, follow my man Ian Parker on social media. He will be updating things as we go. Then the 4 big fights on ESPN at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Well, Clay Collard and Alexander Martinez, they are in the main event. 3 lightweight fights there and 1 light heavyweight fight with our reigning champion, Shoeface. All right, that's going to do it for us. We've given you all the picks that you could possibly want. We start in a matter of minutes on ESPN Plus. For Sean and the crew, for Ian Parker, I'm the coach. Enjoy the night. We'll see you on PFL 4.